All right, guys, what's up? This is Alex with the Duran. I'm here with Peter Lavelle, host of RT's CrossTalk, and we're going to do a quick reaction to Saudi Arabia saying that maybe they tortured Khashoggi too much and he passed away due to excessive torturing.
He passed away. No, that's what they're going to say, aren't they? You know, no, he was murdered in cold blood and most likely viciously. Apparently, Riyadh sent with the two planes and the 15 guys a bone cutting expert. So how does that become accidental when you bring that kind of technique with you? Very disappointing, but totally expected. Trump is concerned about it. He doesn't want this to interrupt the relationship. But this is what we've been saying for years. What I've been saying on my program for years. This is the type of regime that it is. It kidnaps people, puts them into hotels, tortures them, extorts them, kidnaps the Lebanese prime minister. Trying an extortion game there, involved in the most cruel conflict in the world in Yemen. But by the way, they did try to bring democracy to Syria, though they don't have any democracy in Saudi Arabia. This whole thing about Trump and worried about these arms deals, these are memorandums of understanding, okay? That means, well, we're kind of interested, we want to buy, okay? There's no money at stake here. This is a myth that the mainstream is peddling, okay? And even though these numbers are big, it's a drop in the bucket for the entire U.S. economy. Oh, there's some shareholders of these arms producers. Yeah, they could be worried about it. Are you worried about them, Alex? I'm not, okay? This is really, really shameful, and this is not over. This is not over, because we have to find out what Erdogan is getting to keep this close to his chest, okay? You have to remember that the Turks are aligned with the Qataris, and the Qataris are facing sanctions from Saudi Arabia and other Arab Gulf countries. So this is a complicated web here. Khashoggi, he was a journalist, but he was many other things as well. This is a quick take, so we won't go into it, but this is a huge scandal, and it's not going to go away, and Trump has found himself between a rock and a hard place, because voila, the Democrats are going to pick up on this, okay? It all goes around, and it's all connected here. The Saudis, there's no good way out of this, and the Crown Prince, his job's on the line. It's on the line, okay? He's made a lot of enemies in the kingdom, and he's opened himself up, okay? Because it's the classic thing, if he didn't know it, then he doesn't know what he's doing. And if he did do it, did order it, he's a murderer. There's no easy way out. There's no quick solution for him. This is a huge stain. How many hundreds of millions of dollars do you think he spent over the last year traveling into the West to show that he's a reformer and a modern enlightened despot, okay? All of that is rubbish. It's tarnished. He's in tatters right now.
Yeah.
And we already see it. We see an annual diplomatic event that the Saudis put on in Washington. Boom, it's gone. It's been canceled. A lot of trade shows in Saudi Arabia itself are in danger. People are not going. And we're talking about the Davos crowd, okay? They're not going. So this is the beginning of something. It's not the end. But after all of those denials, what did you think you did? Did we actually kill this guy? Really? Okay, it doesn't wash. It doesn't wash. Okay?
Incredible. We'll show a video of Saudi now trying to squirm its way out of this and even try to protect bin Salman. Real quick, Peter, as a media expert, you mentioned Qatar. What do you think of the fact that Al Jazeera, which is Qatari-based, are the ones that are starting to uncover a lot of what's going on?
Well, absolutely. I mean, and the Qataris, of course, they want to see as much dirt come out on Saudi Arabia as much as possible. The Turks are in the game as well here. It's Western media that is really kind of mum about all of this because they don't know where it's going to fall. What we have now is a very intricate, very sophisticated game at the bazaar here in the Middle East, okay? Because the Crown Prince has left himself open, and people are going to take full advantage of this.
Excellent. And we'll see a video about this. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's CrossTalk. Thanks for your quick analysis. on the latest breaking news of Jamal Khashoggi and if he was murdered or not, which now I think all signs point to the fact that he was murdered. Peter Lavelle, host of RT's CrossTalk. Thanks a lot.
You got it.
Sources now say the Saudis will eventually admit that Jamal Khashoggi may have been killed accidentally during an interrogation. That news comes shortly after President Trump sent his top diplomat to the kingdom and as Turkish and Saudi investigators conduct a joint inspection of that consulate. We have Fox team coverage tonight. John Roberts is at the White House. Tell us what he's hearing there. We start off, though, with correspondent Benjamin Hall in Istanbul tonight. Good evening, Benjamin.
Hey, good evening, Brett. Well, if these reports are true, it would blow this case wide open. After almost 2 weeks of strenuous denials, when almost all the evidence pointed at Saudi Arabia, well, if this report is true, it means they will finally admit being involved in the murder.
13 days after Jamal Khashoggi disappeared, and Saudi Arabia has started to cooperate. On Monday, King Salman ordered an investigation into the case, headed up by the lead Saudi prosecutor, working in tandem with Turkey. Turkish authorities have been requesting access to the consulate since Khashoggi went missing. Finally today, it happened. For days now, Turkish authorities have been trying to get inside the Saudi consulate to find out what happened to Jamal Khashoggi. They are now just arriving, Saudi and Turkish investigators. Hopefully, they can get to the bottom of this saga. Investigators spent at least 5 hours at the consulate, a Saudi team and Turkish forensic police. Notably, a cleaning crew also arrived hours ahead of them both. Now the European Union is also looking for answers.
I think we are completely on the same page with our American friends on this. We expect transparency and we wait for having more clarity on what happened on that case that is particularly dramatic one.
On Sunday, Riyadh reacted angrily to political and economic threats over the case, saying, "The kingdom affirms its total rejection of any threats and attempts to undermine it. If it receives any action, it will respond with greater action." Saudi state media then suggested a hike in oil prices to $100, if not $200 a barrel. In another development, King Salman and President Erdogan of Turkey spoke by telephone Sunday evening, with both attempting to calm the situation.
The king reiterated his country's keenness to maintain the relationship with Turkey the same way it is and that no one will ruin that relationship.
Pressure on the Saudis mounts as more leading business figures say they will not attend a major investment conference in Riyadh later this month. The CEO of Uber, Richard Branson, head of the World Bank and the head of JP Morgan, among a few to cancel. It's another major blow to the Saudis.
But that major new report breaking tonight that potentially Saudi Arabia preparing to accept responsibility in the murder is what's shocking everyone today. What consequences that has for Saudi Arabia, however, remains to be seen. Brett?
Benjamin Hall in Turkey tonight. Benjamin, thank you.